Danny Boyle's Sunshine is a gripping sci-fi thriller that starts as a cerebral space mission and gradually transforms into a psychological horror film. With stunning visuals, a haunting score, and a deeply immersive atmosphere, Sunshine delivers a unique blend of hard science fiction and existential dread, making it one of the most underrated films in the genre. Set in the year 2057, Sunshine follows the crew of the Icarus II, a spacecraft on a mission to reignite the dying sun by delivering a massive nuclear payload. The stakes couldn't be higher. Without success, Earth will freeze and humanity will perish. As the crew gets closer to their destination, they discover the abandoned Icarus I, the previous mission that mysteriously failed 7 years earlier. Their decision to investigate sets off a chain of catastrophic events, leading to the film's descent into horror. The film begins as a slow-burn space thriller, focusing on the psychological strain of the mission and the scientific realism of their desperate endeavor. However, once the crew encounters the remains of Icarus I, Sunshine takes a sharp turn into psychological horror. The ship's former captain, Pinbacker, Mark Strong, becomes a terrifying presence. Having succumbed to a religious delusion, he now believes humanity's extinction is God's will and seeks to sabotage the mission. His grotesque, barely visible presence adds an eerie, supernatural element to the film. One of the film's most intense aspects is the sheer weight of the mission's success or failure. There are no second chances. If they fail, humanity dies. The film effectively builds tension through a series of escalating crises, a miscalculated trajectory that damages the ship, dwindling oxygen supplies, and the horrifying realization that someone or something is on board, trying to stop them. The weight of responsibility on the crew is immense, making every decision a matter of life and death. Pinbacker is one of the most unsettling villains in modern sci-fi. He's not just a madman. He's a broken man who has convinced himself that the crew's mission is an act of defiance against fate. His disfigured, nearly unrecognizable form, combined with the film's distorted cinematography whenever he appears, makes him feel almost otherworldly. Unlike traditional sci-fi villains, he doesn't rely on brute force, but instead manipulates fear and chaos, turning the mission into a nightmare. The film boasts a strong ensemble cast, with each member bringing emotional weight to their role. Cillian Murphy, Robert Capa. As the physicist responsible for delivering the payload, Murphy gives a quietly intense performance, carrying the film's emotional weight as he faces the ultimate test of human endurance. Chris Evans, Mace. In a surprising role, Evans delivers a grounded and commanding performance, playing the most pragmatic and determined crew member. His sacrifices throughout the film highlight the brutal reality of their mission. Rose Byrne, Cassie. Byrne's performance adds emotional depth, portraying a character who remains compassionate even as the mission turns deadly. Cliff Curtis, Searle. As the ship's psychologist, Searle becomes obsessed with the power of the sun, foreshadowing the film's descent into madness. Each actor conveys the crushing weight of their mission, making their struggles feel raw and believable. Sunshine remains a visually stunning and thought-provoking film. Its combination of deep space terror, existential themes, and haunting cinematography creates an experience that lingers long after the credits roll. Though some audiences were divided on the shift from sci-fi thriller to horror in the third act, the film's overall impact remains powerful. Alex Garland's screenplay, Boyle's direction, and John Murphy's unforgettable score, featuring the now iconic track Adagio in D minor, make it a standout in modern sci-fi. Sunshine is a masterful blend of science fiction, psychological horror, and philosophical introspection. It asks heavy questions about sacrifice, survival, and humanity's place in the universe, all while delivering heart-pounding suspense. It may not have been a huge box office success, but over time, it has earned its place as one of the most thought-provoking and visually arresting sci-fi films of the 21st century.